guys, today I'm going to be doing the intuitive tag. Before I start, I tag all my subscribers and Neela Nightwalk. If you guys do the tag, be sure to tag me in the video so that I can watch your video responses. So I wrote down all the questions on a piece of paper, and that's why I'll be looking down when I read the questions. So let's get started. Number 1. Share your first paranormal experience that comes to mind. So when I was 9, my mom bought me that Ouija board, the one that glows in the dark that you can get from the toy store. And it was my favorite toy in the entire world. Like, I used to play with that thing like non-stop. And when we moved to Florida, my grandma stayed back in Hawaii for a couple of years, and she eventually sent our stuff to us, and we got the box, and I opened it up, and on top was my Ouija board, and I loved my Ouija board, but when I opened the box, I had no emotional connection to it. I didn't even recognize it, really. It's like I had never seen it before, which was really weird, because I used to play with that thing religiously. And so I kind of pushed it to the side, put it in my brother's room, and, forgot about it for a little bit. And then my brother's room started acting weird. The light switches didn't work, the outlets didn't work, the closet light where we actually held the closet light where we actually put the closet in which we put the Ouija board, the light stopped working, and that never happened before. So we called an electrician, and he said everything's fine. He stuck weird things into the outlet, and it worked fine after for like a week or so. And then I decided to take the Ouija board out of his room and play with it. So I cleansed the space and got rid of any weird energies, and I charged the board in the sun so it would glow, and we decided to play with it. And my grandmother loves the Ouija board, and my mom loves the Ouija board, and they can play by themselves, which I can't. I need at least one other person, but they can play by themselves. So my grandma always played with my Ouija board. So we're sitting in my room, my mom and I, and we put our finger on the little triangle thing, and it immediately starts spelling out, "Where's Petra?" And I thought that was really weird, because my grandma just had the board, and I thought, oh well, maybe she didn't say goodbye to this spirit. But then I thought, why would it know her name? So I said she's still in Hawaii, and then it said goodbye. And after that, we couldn't play. It wasn't we couldn't get anybody to talk to us. So again, I put it in his room. I said, you know what, whatever. And I was downstairs, and I was about to go to bed, and I was feeding my rat, and I was playing with him, and the hallway light started flickering, and it only did once or twice, and then when I turned to look, it stopped completely. And I thought, okay, cool, then I don't have to get up and change the light bulb. So I started playing with my rat again, and tickling him, and, whatever. And it starts flickering again. And the energy in the house was totally different when the Ouija board came. So I immediately assumed it was because of the Ouija board. So I ran upstairs, grabbed the Ouija board, ran outside, and threw it into the trunk of our car. And ever since it left the door of our house, everything stopped. The flickering stopped. The outlets started working in my brother's room again. The closet light started working in my brother's room again. And we lived for 2 years after that in the house, and the hallway light never flickered again. So that was my first paranormal experience. It wasn't a pleasant experience, but I never felt threatened or anything. It was just a weird energy. Number 2, have you ever had a premonition? Yeah, I have. In Hawaii, I was sitting in the living room with my cat, and he was acting funny, and all of a sudden I got this really weird feeling of heaviness, like really heavy energy, I guess you would call it. And a split second later, we had the worst earthquake in Hawaii for that year, which was a 6.8, I believe. And so my cat, I don't know why he did this, but he was on the floor and he jumped on the top of a bookcase. I don't know how a cat can jump on top of a bookcase. And he jumped behind our flat screen TV. So I had to kind of like pull him out so he wouldn't knock the TV over while trying to balance myself because the ground is like shaking. And we both ran outside, and that was, I'm not afraid of earthquakes or anything because, you know, it happens a lot in Hawaii, but it was weird that you could feel this, like, heaviness. It felt like somebody was, like, pressing you onto the ground, like, really hard, and then all of a sudden the ground started shaking. So that was really interesting. Number 3, when did you get your first tarot or oracle card deck? I got my first tarot deck when I was 14. When we moved back from Hawaii to Florida, there was a metaphysical shop, the first one I've ever been to, and I actually picked up this deck here, which is called Tarot of the Witches by Fairies Hall, and this is just an example of what they look like. It's really weird. When I bought this deck, it had a scent to it. It still does, and I'm so addicted to the smell of this. It's like a really sweet but musky scent. I love it. So, that's my tarot deck. Number 4, what element do you connect with most? I connect mostly with water, because growing up on an island, you can't really escape water. It's everywhere. And some people say I'm part fish, but that's only because I, you know, go to the, that's only because I swim a lot, so. Number 5, do you believe in fairies? I do, but I don't. I don't believe that they have, like, you know, the regular, you know, how people see fairies. They have little wings, little dresses, they look like people. I don't believe in that. That's a little too whimsical for me. I'm more of like, I'm spiritual, but I'm also kind of scientific in a way. I believe there are spirits in nature, definitely. But I do not see them as little people with wings and, you know, I just see them as, you know, maybe an orb or something. So, totally. Number 6, do you prefer the moon or sun? I love the sun because I grew up in the tropics, but if I had to choose between always having the sun or always having the moon, I'd have to choose the moon. I feel more connected to the moon, so. Number 7, what is your favorite crystal or stone? My favorite crystal is rose quartz. That's my favorite. But rose quartz is my favorite, but I feel more connected to amethyst. But I don't know why, but rose quartz is my favorite. Number 8, can you see spirits or spiritual beings? No, I cannot. I wish I could, like the Ghost Whisperer. I'd be like, hey, dead person. But my great-grandma was psychic. It skipped my grandma and went to my mom and went to me. And we're not like Raven from That's So Raven, where we're talking and all of a sudden we stop because we're seeing this, like, you know, vision. But we see it more in our dreams. And we have super severe deja vu where I can finish somebody's sentence before they even say it. So there's a lot of like discussion on what deja vu is exactly. But how would you explain that I'm seeing something like an image or a clip of like a video and it's going, and before that person starts talking, I can say exactly what they're about to say. So I'm not really sure what deja vu is exactly, but I have more like dream visions. One time I dreamt of a Chinese store, and there was a glass bowl filled with sand and a bonsai tree and a frog. And I asked my mom, I said, what does that even mean? And she had no idea either. So then that morning we went to a farmer's market, and there was a woman who sold stones, and I looked at them, and right next to her shop was a bonsai tree seller, and I wasn't even thinking about my dream at the time. And I picked up the bonsai tree, looked at it, touched the leaf, trying to figure out how much it is, put it back down, and we kept walking, and there was a jewelry store, and they had necklaces on sale. So I walk up to the stand where the sale is, and there's only one necklace left, which is a glass frog. So again, I wasn't thinking about my dream, and I said to my mom, does this look weird, dangling a frog from your neck? And she said it doesn't look good, so I put it back. And as we were entering our subdivision, it hit me. I thought, oh my God, my dream, do you remember my dream? And she said, oh my God, but then I still don't know what it meant. But I have like those kinds of visions per se, and I got it from my great-grandmother. Where am I? Number 9. Would you rather be able to fly on a broomstick, breathe underwater, make things grow fast, or control fire? I would love to have all of them, but if I could choose only one, I would definitely choose to breathe underwater because I spend most of my time in the water, so I think that would be the most appropriate for me. Number 10. What is your animal or spirit totem? My animal/spirit totem is a raven. I connect a lot with the raven. I don't know what it is. I just feel really drawn to them. Number 12. Tell us about your first spirit guide. I don't have a spirit guide, but my mom does. Ever since she was little, she had this one guy in her dream. You couldn't see his face, but he was always there. And every time she had a nightmare, he would save her. And every time there was a happy moment, he would be with her. So she kind of grew up with her spirit guide, dream guide person. And one day he brought her to a forest, and when she turned around, he was gone. And ever since then, she hasn't seen him in her dreams at all. And she was really sad because she started getting nightmares and he wouldn't show up and save her. So she got books and read up on it and stuff, how to get your spirit/dream guide again. And then he slowly started coming back, and yeah, but I have no spirit guide or anything like that. Number 13, do you feel more connected to the stars or Earth? I feel more connected to Earth, but I find these stars very interesting, especially in Europe. When you live a little bit outside of the city, the whole sky is completely covered in stars. I still see the constellations that I see in America, but all of a sudden there's a lot more different stars in between them, and the moon has a different side. It actually has a face on it, which is really cool. But I feel more connected to the Earth because it has, fire, water, Earth itself. So I feel more connected to Earth. Number 14, what is your preferred method of blessing or cleansing? My preferred method is to first clean my room, actually, like physically clean it with a vacuum cleaner, like spray and, disinfectant and all that. And then I go in with a smudge stick, usually sage, and then I actually use holy water. You can buy holy water, but I think it's just like tap water they fill in a bottle. So I make my own, and I charge it in the moon. I say a prayer over it, add a little bit of salt, and put it in the sun very shortly. I don't want it to start growing bacteria or anything. And then I get one of those, usually they come in like with the essential oils, those dark bottles with the dropper kind of thing, and I just, go to town and, soak everything in holy water, and that's my version of cleansing. Number 15, what color do you feel most spiritually connected to? I feel that dark purple is a very magical spiritual color, but I connect mostly to a dark royal blue, which is actually my my cloak, if you can see. There. I feel more connected to that color, so I was so excited when I found that because it was my favorite color. It was the color I felt most connected to, and it just happened to relate to Wicca. So that is my tag. Again, I tag all my subscribers, anybody who even watches this video, and Mila Night Walk. If she does do the tag, you guys should totally check it out. I'm really interested to see if she had any paranormal experiences. And be sure to tag me in the video so that I can find the video. And I will like, comment, subscribe, do all that. So thanks for watching. Blessed be.